There's a way of running a business in a very prudent and through struggle, but once you pull the plug, I think that's when it becomes really, really dangerous, because people may be able to come back or people may not be able to come back. Talking a little bit about what life was like to run Cote pre-COVID-19 was very, very, very exciting. Within 4 months of opening, we got our Michelin star, which was another dream come true. We got 2 stars from New York Times. We got nominated as Best New Restaurant by James Beard Foundation. We're serving about 300 hungry diners that came in and that filled this room with a lot of energy and positive things. And then this happened. Closing the restaurant, that's my dream, that's my passion. That is a workplace to 105 people. That is a place of gathering. To close that was a really scary and sad thing. We need this revenue stream in order for us to sustain ourselves. So we pivoted to delivery. This is literally blood, sweat, and tear, and some, and more, and dedication of my team. We wanted to make sure that we can do our part.
This is going to be the ribeye that we're going to use for our feast for 2 and our butcher's bowl. Right now I'm just taking off the ribs apart, deboning it technically so that I can cut it into smaller portions. Doing great actually. Been coming into work now, it's not a scary thought anymore. It's just on a daily basis, it just happens. You know, Coach shifted its gear to doing delivery. We're 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday. We're only doing dinner. It was a challenge getting the operation started. The first couple of days was a crazy show, but I think we got it locked down. And prep-wise, you know, this is the whole team. All of my sous chefs, my CDC, they're all here. We got 2 guys in the morning that are prepping without a butcher, so I'm the butcher in the morning for all the things that needs to be done. Trying to get in touch with some of those companies where we can deliver food to the hospitals. I think we have about 65, 70 bowls that we're gonna deliver to one of the hospitals. That's actually like what we can handle. I think if we were to do lunch, all of it, myself included, will all be, burnt out before we go anywhere. We had almost about 100 employees. Now I think there's about 15 of us that's working. But it's sad, and I think we're doing this so that we can keep Coke going, so that by the time we're ready to open, after all this pandemic is over, that we can have the whole team back. The great thing, when we have such a small team is that our managers, if to my left, they're helping us prep every day. Amy's making staff meal, Elena's cracking eggs, and there's all the small jobs that require many hands to get done. They're always here lending a hand, and I think this is also another reason why we can do this operation with such a small staff. I know there's a big difference between front of the house and the back of the house in some kitchens or some restaurants, but here, there are things that can be chopped, that can be portioned, that can be, cooked. Things that can definitely alleviate 20, 30 minutes off my hand or their hands. I'm very grateful, and I'm always thankful for what they're doing for us. Aging room is affected. We haven't been ordering a lot of beef, just the small stuff that are wet aged. And normally, all of it is packed. If you see the front row, the front part of the room is actually completely empty. Before Corona actually happened, this was full, everyday rotation, getting things done. The biggest problem that I had was how do I move this? Because yes, it's dry aged, but once it goes past 100, 150, 200, then I can't sell it as normal dry. And as you see, it's like your bank. There's not enough money or beef in the bank, and it's kind of sad.
The nurse Simon is actually putting together some immunity booster package. So we got some vitamin D complex that's going to help you kind of boost immune health. I'm not sure, I'm no doctor, so I don't know how much this actually has impact, but you know what? Everything counts, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What are vitamins? You're welcome.
Ooh. Is it a chewy one?
The chewy one is probiotic. I know. So what are some cocktails you have?
We have margarita, Mai Tai, old fashioned, and then we are going to hand dip all of these in wax.
Is it easy to open though?
Yeah, seal into wax here.
Right.
So when you pull this, it cracks it.
I see.
Since we transitioned to delivery service, we've been offering wine, but then also cocktails. So thankfully, Sandre officially is back today. For the last month, I've been doing this by myself. We're supposed to only sell like sealed containers. And in order to seal it, we have to give it a little dip here in wax. Delivery cocktails is very interesting. One of the great things about serving people drinks and beverage is that you can have that discussion with them and see what they like. And so sometimes it's a little strange. You make something for someone and you don't know who it's for. And there's that disconnect. It takes some getting used to for sure. We also sell wine for delivery and to go. So everything has tasting notes that are written by me about why the wine is awesome, the stories behind the bottle. Because as a sommelier, when you're tableside, you're telling the guest about why this wine is awesome. And so it's nice to be able to transfer that still with delivery and to go. When you order cocktails, you get all the fabulous garnishes. So these, for our Mai Tai cocktail, you get, of course, tiki umbrellas. And these ones are special because not only do they have the Cote symbol on them, but they also have the City Harvest symbol on them. So 3% of our revenue proceeds go towards feeding hungry New Yorkers with City Harvest, which is awesome.
When everybody's running for cover is when the vulnerable becomes even more vulnerable, right? We wanted to set aside 3% of our revenue, top line, and donate that to City Harvest. It's a really wonderful organization. What they do is they rescue food, otherwise it would have been wasted, and then they distribute the food to the hungry New Yorkers that are in need. It's been just a really rewarding and awesome experience so far.
So right now we're unpacking some of the new arrivals here and then reorganizing everything. Obviously, without the guests to seat here, these have been kind of replaced as our storage unit, specifically for the to-go and delivery stuff. I'm actually running the expo station in the kitchen and obviously coordinating with the packing process of it as well. So as much as I love working and studying restaurants, I've actually never obviously Expo, a kitchen station, being much more of a front of house service person. At Expo is kind of the conductor, and a lot of the very capable chefs and packing personnel are looking for my direction. The realization of that limit, I think, is natural, but also something relatively new to me and a bit of a challenge, I would say. So, as a service director, I think a lot of times our restaurant has a really good culture of pre-shift. When we started this, I was thinking on what was one of the last things we talked about in pre-shift. And it was this Korean word called 정성, which in this context, I think it best translates as intention. And how I talk about to our staff is like, it's the mind and the attitude you approach service with. And I think in terms of packing and specifically that area of it, is it sad and frustrating that I can't actually serve guests in front of me? Yeah, I mean, that's what I love about this work. But I think when we pack with intention. Could I say, hey, it's just being delivered by third party? Like, who knows what it's gonna look like when we get there anyways. But I think our focus has been to continue to concentrate on our 정성 and our intention and make sure every single part that we do to produce this until the end product gets to the guests, that we will do our part. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but I've never felt prouder to really be in this industry and the choice I made to be part of this industry than honestly I do at this moment.
It takes a village to run a restaurant, right? We work with probably close to 70 different vendors, guys from who delivers us steak, who delivers us vegetables, wine, spirits, you name it. It's a real complex and expensive ecosystem. So we have those vendors that we work with, but we also have professional partners, people who help us with design, who help us with, spreading the word out. All sort of rely on restaurant industries to keep the industry going. One of the reasons why we wanted to keep doing what we do here at Cote was to make sure that we can help them keep the lights on, keep the ecosystem going. We're not making a single dollar. We're actually losing a lot of money by running this. But that being said, the revenue that we bring in actually helps pay my team and help pay my vendors. And as far as the restaurant is concerned, there's literally zero interest in how can I make the restaurant profitable. We want to be part of our community and support it to our team that wants to come to work.
One bacon, one nugget, one galbi ball, one ribeye, medium rare, please.
I'm a very proud New Yorker. New York is a city where everybody is kind of out on their own, it seems like. I had that expectation, but how we are showing compassion, how we are coming together as a community has been completely unexpectedly awesome.
Especially on these hard times, I think you feel more the love. There's so much love out there for this industry and so much appreciation. I feel that, it really makes it worthwhile that, all the work that we've done in the past is actually showing now, and it's happy to be here. I really do genuinely feel very happy to be here.